You ever turn the key on a crisp winter morning? Coffee steaming in your travel mug, ready to head out for groceries or maybe just a quiet drive to clear your head. And the engine fires right up, but the steering wheel feels like it's bolted to the pavement. You muscle it left, then right, and hear this low, mournful whine coming from under the hood, like your car is trying to tell you something important, but you just can't quite make it out. Yeah, I've seen that look 100 times in my bay. The furrowed brow, the frustrated sigh, the "I swear I just had this serviced" mutter. And 9 times out of 10, it's not the battery, it's not the oil, it's not even the transmission. It's something so simple, so quiet, so easy to overlook that most folks don't even know it exists until it's too late. And if you're over 55, driving a trusty old Camry, Accord, Grand Prix, or Taurus, the kind of car that's got more miles than a cross-country trucker, but still starts every time, you're especially at risk. Because there's one fluid hiding in plain sight that most older drivers flat out forget to check. And no, it's not oil. Now, before you go poking under your hood looking for something labeled mystery fluid, let me save you the guesswork. It's your power steering fluid. Yeah, that stuff. The unsung hero that lets you turn a 2-ton machine with the flick of a wrist. And here's the kicker. While every oil change shop slaps a sticker on your windshield reminding you about your next lube job, and your coolant gets tested every time you get a complimentary inspection, your power steering fluid? It's the ghost of the engine bay. No warning light, no dashboard alert, no friendly reminder from your dealer unless they're trying to sell you a $199 power steering flush that you might not even need. It just sits there, quietly doing its job. Until it doesn't. I had a customer walk in last November. Gentleman named Frank, retired school teacher, drove a 2007 Toyota Camry with 187,000 miles on it. Car ran like a dream, kept it cleaner than my Sunday shirt. But he said for the past few weeks, turning into his driveway felt like wrestling a bear. He'd heard a whine but figured it was just old car noise. By the time he brought it in, the power steering pump had seized. Metal shavings had circulated through the entire system, scoring the inside of the steering rack beyond repair. We're talking $1,200 in parts and labor. And you know what it would have fixed 3 months ago? A $12 bottle of fluid and 10 minutes with a rag and a flashlight. That's the tragedy of it. Not the cost, but the preventability. Frank wasn't careless. He was just never taught to look there. And honestly, neither were most of us. See, back in the day, when cars had bench seats, carburetors, and ashtrays bigger than your phone, power steering systems were built like tanks. You could run them dry for a week, and they'd still groan their way through another oil change. But modern hydraulic systems, they're precision instruments. Tighter tolerances, smaller pumps, higher pressures. They demand clean, fresh fluid to survive. And here's what no one tells you. Even if your reservoir isn't leaking a drop, that fluid is aging. Every time the engine runs, the fluid gets hot, then it cools, then it heats up again. Over years, that thermal cycling breaks it down. It oxidizes, it loses its lubricating properties. Sludge forms. And once that sludge starts circulating, it's like sandpaper in your pump. That faint whine you hear? That's your pump crying for help. Now, let's bust a few myths while we're at it, because the misinformation out there costs people real money. First myth, if it's not leaking, it's fine. Nope. Degradation happens internally. You can have a perfectly sealed system with rock-solid hoses and still end up with burnt, useless fluid. Second myth, all power steering fluid is the same. Big mistake. Honda uses a special blue or green fluid that's totally different from what goes in your Ford. GM often uses Dextron 3 automatic transmission fluid in their power steering systems, but not always. And using the wrong type? That can cause seals to swell, pumps to cavitate, or worse. Always, always check your owner's manual or the cap on the reservoir. It'll tell you exactly what spec to use. Third myth, just top it off and you're good. Not if it's already degraded. Topping off dirty fluid is like adding clean water to a muddy puddle. It doesn't fix the problem. It just dilutes it temporarily. If your fluid looks dark brown, smells burnt, or feels gritty between your fingers, that's your red flag. And if it's foamy, that means air's getting into the system, probably from a cracked hose or loose fitting, another silent killer. But here's the part that really gets me. Because dealerships and quick lube joints act like flushing your power steering system requires some NASA-level equipment. They'll quote you $200 for a machine flush that takes 10 minutes. Meanwhile, you can do 90% of the job yourself with a turkey baster and a little patience. Here's how. With the engine off, use the baster to suck out as much old fluid as you can from the reservoir. Pour in the correct new fluid up to the hot line. Start the car and turn the wheel slowly from lock to lock 10 times. Don't hold it against the stops, just sweep it back and forth. Shut it off, suck out the fluid again, it'll be dirty, and refill. Repeat this 3 times. Each cycle pulls more old fluid out of the lines and rack. And if your car has an inline filter, which many GMs, Hondas, and Chryslers from the 2000s do, replace it. It's usually a small canister near the reservoir, costs about $8, and catches metal particles before they wreck your pump. I've saved dozens of customers from catastrophic failures just by cleaning that screen and refreshing the fluid. Total cost? Under $30. Total time? 20 minutes with a cup of coffee. And that's not even the weirdest part, because this isn't just about saving money or avoiding a tow truck. For older drivers, folks who may not have the upper body strength they used to, power steering isn't a luxury. It's a safety system. Think about it. You're pulling out of a parking lot. A kid darts into the street chasing a ball, and you need to swerve. With healthy power steering, you react instantly. With a failing system, that split-second delay could be everything. I've had more than one customer tell me, "Tony, if I lose this car, I lose my independence." And that hits different. It's not just metal and fluid. It's freedom, dignity, the ability to go where you want when you want, without relying on someone else. So if you've ever felt that stiff wheel or heard that telltale whine, drop a comment below. I read every one. Tell me what you drive and what you found. Hit like if this tip just saved you a $1,000 repair bill. And subscribe so you're never blindsided by one of these silent killers again. Because knowledge isn't just power, it's peace of mind. Now before you close this tab and head out to your garage, let me leave you with this. Cars talk, not with words, but with sounds, smells, vibrations. A healthy car hums, a tired one whispers. And that whisper, it's not asking for much. Just a little attention, a quick check, a moment of your time. Because the truth is, the longest-lasting cars I see in my shop aren't the ones with the most expensive parts. It's the ones whose owners listened, really listened. So the next time you pop the hood, don't just look at the oil. Look deeper. Listen closer. That little reservoir with the steering wheel on it, it's got a story to tell. And if you pay attention, it might just keep you on the road and in control for years to come.